Let me quickly talk to you about the top 10 startup business loans for bad credit, no collateral, and no personal guarantee. Don't go anywhere. You're going to love this show. I guarantee it. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Sweetie Kiva Show. How are you today? I hope you're all doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous, if you're to ask me. If you are doing as great as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka and let's roll. In today's conversation, I want to speak to you about the top 10 startup business loans for bad credit, no collateral, no personal guarantee. The whole idea here is to protect you. Now, this is important because when you start a business, the last thing you want to think about is having your personal assets being at risk, right? Because you don't want to have you don't want to pledge any collateral. You don't want to have a personal guarantee because that's going to add to the stress you currently have about setting up the business, about running the business. So you don't want to worry about your financial stability. So one thing we have done is, in doing our research for the top 10 startup business loans, we have made sure that the lenders that we are including on our list have certain prerequisites. In other words, they have great customer service. They will consider any type of credit, bad credit, low credit, no credit. They will not ask the borrower for any collateral. They will not ask the borrower for any personal guarantee. And this is important. Now, before you actually apply for a loan, for a business loan, if you have a startup, please make sure you understand that there are other types of funding sources available. So you can think about friends and family, for example. You can consider personal loans and lines of credit. Now, granted, personal loans and lines of credit do not give you the high amount you need to run your business. That's for sure. I get that. You also need to think about business lines of credit. So besides business loans, you also have something called business lines of credit. For example, working capital loans, working capital lines of credit. Those allow you to tap into a specific, a permanent line of credit, amount of capital that's sitting there that you can tap into and repay as you want. You might also want to think about crowdfunding. Crowdfunding can be interesting for your business, right? The whole idea of crowdfunding is you go to a platform such as Indiegogo or Kickstarter, and you basically lay the foundation. You expose your business, you explain your business, you provide business plan, and you just have a pitch. And people might contribute debt, equity. They might contribute cash in exchange for debt, equity, rewards, or you might just ask for donations. It depends on your business model. And you also want to think about cash flow financing. This could be another way also. So you have merchant cash advances. That's a possibility, and you have short-term loans. Besides cash flow financing, besides crowdfunding, when we speak about startup business loans or startup business funding in general, you also want to think about grants, for example. Grants is not a loan really. It's free money, but the whole idea is to look for funding for your startup, right? So if you don't want to borrow, you could also apply for a grant. And there are grants for all kinds of entrepreneurs out there, whether you are what I called a special category, whether you are a minority or whether you live in an area that is deemed by the government economically disadvantaged, or whether there are grants for women entrepreneurs. So there are all kinds of grants out there. You may also want to think about invoice factoring. This could be a good opportunity. All right. So this is the kind of arrangement where you actually pledge your accounts receivable, your customer's receivable amount to a factoring agency. Think about business credit cards also. This could be a great opportunity for you to fund your startup. What about SBA loans? What about microloans? Microloans are the loans that you get from nonprofits, and they are capped at $50,000. Okay, so I'm just giving you an idea of the possibilities out there when it comes to startup business loans for bad credit, no collateral, and no personal guarantee. There are other funding sources out there. Before I get into the actual ranking, please check out this short video. It tells you about our approach. We do have a proven methodology on this show when it comes to categorizing, reviewing, and listing business loans for bad credit, for good credit, for low credit, for no credit. Check this out. All right, number 10, folks. We have Kiva US. Our score 7.5 over 10. When it comes to startup business funding for bad credit, no collateral, no personal guarantee, Kiva is a great website. Basically, it's a non-for-profit. So Kiva offers crowdfunding, microloans, and they are one of the least expensive forms of financing available to business owners, especially startup owners. And Kiva is definitely worth checking out if you run a community-oriented business that needs a small infusion of cash. So I'm referring to maximum $50,000. And Kiva is really suitable for startups, but not for large businesses. What are the pros and cons here? Pros, suitable for startups. I've already said that. Great customer support, no prepayment penalty, no additional fee, no credit score requirements. So if you have bad credit, low credit, fair credit, it's fine. And they have no interest rates. What about the cons? Kiva is not suitable for large businesses. You have a lengthy application process and the typical time to funding 1 to 3 months. So if you have time, all the time in the world, then you can apply to Kiva. And if you are looking for a smaller business loan amount. Number 9, folks, we have World Business Lenders. Our score 7.5 over 10. Whenever I read this, I kind of think about World Business Leaders, but yeah, no, it's World Business Lenders. And this is a small business alternative lender offering high interest funding to businesses that may otherwise fail to qualify for a traditional loan. And World Business Lenders have an easy application process, but please be cautious about their high factor rates, okay? So the pros and cons here: no credit score requirements, you have an easy application process. The cons, you have high factor rates, and they have a fair public reputation. So they could do better, okay? And World Business Lenders offers the following types of financial products. So they have short-term loans, medium-term business loans, short-term business loans, medium-term business loans, merchant cash advances, and the industries that they serve range from construction and food service to auto manufacturing, wholesale, telecommunications, mining, and trucking. So they kind of cover the whole 9 yards. And in terms of borrowing amount, you're looking at $5,000 all the way to $2 million. The term length 3 to 36 months, and the fixed fee interest rate X times 1.3, 1.5. That's the fixed rate for MCAs. And for loans, for business loans, you have an APR that starts at 13%. Number 8, folks, we have Lending Points. Lending Points, our score 8 over 10. So Lending Point offers loans to consumers who have credit scores in the 500 to 680 range. So we're talking about personal loans, right? But you can use those loans to start a business. So Lending Point is great for people without the best credit profiles. It's also suitable for startups, but because of its narrow focus, the funding might work out for a very small number of entrepreneurs. What are the pros and cons here? Pros: borrower qualifications are lower than going through the banks. Financing is available for qualified entrepreneurs. You have few extra fees. The application process is fast and easy, way faster than what you would see with Kiva, for example. And you have multiple avenues of customer support. What about the cons? Financing is not available in some states. You have low borrowing amounts, and rates can be expensive. So the rates we're talking about 2,000 to 25,000. In some cases, they will go all the way to 75,000. The term length 24 to 48 months. Interest rates 10% to 30%. Origination fee 0 to 6%, and the APR 10 to 36%. And there's no collateral. Number 7, folks, we have Fundwise Capital. Our score 8/10. So Fundwise Capital is a finance service company that actually specializes in connecting qualified customers with third-party funders. So basically, they're not a direct lender. They are a loan matching service. Okay, so for new entrepreneurs with bad, fair, or good credit, Fundwise can make a significant impact, especially if you qualify for 0 interest during your first year. Now, please beware of being upsold on credit counseling, because with Fundwise, the upsell is pretty there. It's constant. They're trying to sell you. They're trying to upsell you. So be very careful about that. What about the pros and cons here? Pros: financing is available to qualified startups. You have multiple types of financing available. Long-term financing options available. No collateral required. What about the cons? High credit score requirement in some cases in some parts of the country, and rates can be expensive, and funds can take a while to disperse. So what are we talking about here in terms of amounts? We're talking about 25,000 all the way to 300,000. Term length 3 to 7 years. Interest rate 0 to 15% on the first 9 to 15 months. And there are other fees. So you have $500 plus 9% approval fee, and the APR ranges from 6% to 23%. Number 6, yes. I have BestEgg. Our score 8.5/10. So BestEgg offers personal loans which can be used for business to qualified borrowers. You can use that for business to qualified borrowers. It is actually best suitable for entrepreneurs who need a small amount of money to start a business, provided they have fair to strong personal creditworthiness and financials. So what are the pros and cons here? Suited for startups, competitive terms and fees, and they have a short application process. What about the cons? This is not good for large businesses. They have stringent borrower qualifications, and they have some additional fees. The thing with BestEgg is that if you don't have, let's say if you have poor credit, you can have a cosigner. And in some cases, the company itself, the lender itself will help you find a cosigner. They've done that for some people that we have interviewed. So this is pretty cool. So one thing you need to understand is that BestEgg is owned by Marlette Funding. So they offer personal loans to qualified borrowers. So the process is similar to Lending Point. Those are personal lenders who would allow you to use the funds for business, and that's fantastic. So what are we looking at here in terms of the funds? You're looking at 2,000 to 35,000. The term length 3 to 5 years. The origination fee 1% to 6%. The APR range from 6% to 30%. Number 5, folks. We have here right now Everest Business Funding. Our score 8.5/10. And this is another great player. They actually they're based in Florida, and they operate in the MCA space. In other words, they are a merchant cash advance alternative funder serving small businesses. Now they serve businesses all over the country, not just in Florida. And like similar companies, Everest Business Funding provides short-term capital for businesses that may have difficulty qualifying for traditional lending. What about the pros and cons here? Pros: you have a relaxed credit score requirements, 2 to 7 days time to funding. What about the cons? High factor rates, and there are some additional fees. And Everest Business Funding serves the following industry. So you have healthcare, restaurants, service, trade, seasonal businesses like accounting, bridal, moving, and retail. Okay, so there's something you need to think about. And in terms of borrowing, you're looking at 5,000 to 1 million, term length 2 to 12 months, the flat fee X 1.2 X 1.5, and origination fee will oscillate between $200 and $3,000. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another session of the Awesome Sweetie Kiwi Show. We are still having a conversation about the top 10 startup business loans for bad credit, no collateral, and no personal guarantee. Number 4, folks. Number 4, we have Seek Business Capital. Our score, 9/10. And the Seek Business Capital, basically, what they do very well is they specialize in funding procurement from third-party lenders. In other words, they are a loan matching service, and Seek Capital does the hard work for you. So when it comes to acquiring funding for your business, and of course, what we've seen in our research is that there are high fees associated with this service, but the convenience at the end of the day may actually outweigh the expense for many business owners, including you, if you're in that category. What about the pros and cons here? Pros, you have excellent customer support, and this is suited for startups. It's suited for small businesses, and you have a very easy, fast application process. What about the cons? You have high origination fees. You may have some additional fees depending upon your application. And what we've seen is that in terms of fees and terms, they have not been transparent. You kind of have an opaque cloud over the terms and fees. So something they need to work on. And funding will fluctuate between 5,000 to $500,000, and this is what they approve for. The APR is really, it kind of fluctuates also, but they will give you somewhere between 5% all the way to 23%. Number three, we have Fora Financial, and our score 9.5/10. So Fora Financial is really another small business lender, an alternative lender that offers MCAs and short-term loans. So MCAs, merchant cash advances. So what about the pros and cons here? Pros, no credit score requirements, discounts for repaying early, suited for quick business financing. The application process is really, really, really fast and easy. We've seen that. And customer service is really helpful. What about the cons? Rates can be expensive. You have some additional fees that are charged depending upon the deal, and the repayments are required frequently. And in terms of amounts, we're looking at 5,000 to $500,000. Okay. And in terms of the borrowing fee, 10% to 30% of the borrowing amount. Term length, you're looking at 4 to 16 months, in some cases 20 months. And you have an origination fee of 1 to 4% of the borrowing amount. Number 2, folks, we have Forward Financing. Our score, 9.5/10. So Forward Financing is an online funder that specializes in providing small businesses with capital on short notice. And what they do very well is that they focus on technology. They combine technology, speed, integrity, and transparency to give you the best service. Okay. And their rates fall on the higher side. However, if your credit rating is limiting you to high rate funders and you absolutely need funding, Forward Financing may be worth considering. So what about the pros and cons here? Pros, they have an excellent public reputation. They have relaxed credit score requirements, transparent terms and fees, and they have a fast time to funding. What about the cons? High factor rates and expensive terms and fees, something you need to be aware of. And in terms of the funding, the amounts, you have it ranges from 5,000 to 300,000. Term length 4 to 12 months. Fixed fee times 1.3 times 1.5. Origination fee 300 to 3,000. That's the processing fee. And what else should you know here? Yeah, this is a great company to consider. Number 1, folks, when it comes to the best startup business loan for bad credit, no collateral, and no personal guarantee, in our view, we have National Business Capital. Our score, 10/10. And this is a lending advisory service that links small business applicants to one of its more than 75 lending affiliates. So again, National Business Capital is a loan matching service, but they do a great job at giving you the loan that you need, the business loan your business needs. And National Business Capital is actually, in our view, in our analysis, is appropriate for startups, new and mature but credit challenged businesses. Again, beware that you will be actually hit with high rates. So, but it comes with it comes with the territory, right? That's what it is. So what about the pros and cons here? Pros: borrower qualifications are lower than with banks. Financing is available to qualified startups. You have high borrowing amounts. Long-term financing options available. The application process is fast and easy. Customers have an assigned account manager. This is really good. The cons: rates can be expensive and collateral blanket lien may be required in some cases. And NBC, National Business Capital, they offer several types of loans: business term loans, business lines of credit, equipment financing, SBA loans, and startup business funding. And in terms of amounts, you're looking at 10,000 to 5 million. Term length 1 to 5 years, and the in terms of APR, you're looking at 5% all the way to 25%. All right, folks. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. I was talking to you today about the top 10 startup business loans for bad credit, no collateral, and no personal guarantee. Number 1, we have National Business Capital, 10 over 10. Number 2, we have Forward Financing, 9.5 over 10. Number 3, we have Fora Financial, 9.5 over 10. Number 4, we have Seek Business Capital, 9 over 10. Number 5, we have Everest Business Funding, 8.5 over 10. Number 6, we have BestEgg, 8.5 over 10. Number 7, we have Fundwise Capital, 8 over 10. Number 8, we have Lending Point, 8 over 10. Number 9, we have World Business Lenders, 7.5 over 10. And number 10, we have Kiva US, 7.5 over 10. Thank you so much for your attention again. I will see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.